What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. Well, I tell y'all what, doing maintenance on multiple bikes and multiple vehicles, it kind of gets tiring. And when I talk about maintenance, I'm kind of throwing routine maintenance, your oil changes and stuff like that, along with doing repairs. Let me kind of tell you about some of the stuff that I've got going on and that I've done. And this is like right before TMMR. On the DRZ, I was actually looking at one of the upgrades that I want to do, which is going to be the 3x3 for your airbox. And so I removed the snorkel on the airbox. So one of the things I was going to do is actually load the DRZ on back of the Suburban and take it to Sam's so that I could get the tires changed on the Suburban. And so I loaded it on the back of the Suburban and went to go do some errands, and it would not run. Like, I could barely, it would idle fine, but when I tried to, go off on the parking lot, it just kept dying and kept dying. And whenever I got back to the house, I kind of started looking at it, and I had forgotten that I had taken this out. And whenever I was looking at it, I know that there's a throttle position sensor on these bikes, even though it's copyrighted. And I remember reading that the throttle position sensors go bad all the time, and a lot of people disconnect them and everything. Well, I kind of started running down that rabbit hole and found the throttle position sensor and unplugged it. Well, the throttle position sensor is actually right behind the airbox, right where the cover is right there. And so I had taken that off, and I was like, all right, let me, run it down the street and everything. Well, it ran fine, but I left the cover off of the airbox. And when I put the cover back on the airbox with the throttle position sensor disconnected, it did the same thing. And so I thought, okay, maybe I forgot, to clean the air filter. So I pulled the air filter out and I'd cleaned it. And while I was waiting for it to dry, I happened to remember in the back of my mind that I removed this. Well, I had gone ahead and, wet it down with the oil and everything, put it all back together. And I pulled the seat off, and sure enough, you could see where this had been smashed together. Looking back at it, I believe I put this on backwards. I think it goes in like this and not like this. But at the same time, I went ahead and changed the oil on the DRZ. So the DRZ is ready to go for TMMR. I do, like I said, have some upgrades going, and I still need to fix the handlebars where they're kind of bent still a little bit. But for TMMR, I think they'll be okay. All right, so let's talk about Old Faithful, my actual Sportster. It's one of those, as you can see, I've still yet to actually have the gas tank painted. And the reason being is that on the gas tank, the gas caps that I had ordered was actually causing it to leak on this side. And I didn't really want to get it painted till I kind of resolved that issue. And as an experiment, I kind of took the gas caps off my Heritage and put on here temporarily, and it actually fixed the issue. And so I went in and ordered some more gas caps that, were designed for the Heritage, and it fit in here, and I've filled up multiple times, and I've still yet to have it leak. And so probably this winter, I'll probably get the bike painted the color that I want it to be. Like I said, I was just kind of not really wanting to ruin the paint, and so that's why I was holding off. As far as the bike is concerned for TMMR, I had to go in and adjust the actual clutch. And the reason being is that the adjuster right here, the jam nut, I think I put on the wrong side, and I think that's the reason why it got loose on me. And I kind of put the jam nut on the right side and tightened everything up so it's not moving on me. And so I'm able to, get it back into neutral a lot easier. And so I also went in and changed the primary fluid and the motor oil. And so for TMMR, this bike is kind of ready to go. I did lose the actual battery cover right here, but I ordered another one and it come in today. So I kind of got that back on there. And I still don't know whether I want to take this bike or not, mainly because it's supposed to rain a lot. And with me only having primer on the tank and the fender, I'm really not wanting to get it very wet. And so if I do take it, I may just leave it in the trailer, unless I'm riding it and it's not raining, because I definitely don't want any kind of rust to start building up on the tank. All right, so one last thing I forgot to mention, and I don't know what it is about me and speedometers, but my speedometer actually quit working. I haven't really had a chance to troubleshoot it a lot. I do know that on here, I do have the voltage going up here. I don't know. Like I said, I've got another speedometer that I'm going to kind of piggyback onto this one to kind of see if that's what the issue is or not. But till I get back from TMMR, I'm just going to run it without a speedometer. All right, so let's talk about the Heritage. As you can see right there, I actually don't have a carburetor on the bike, and the reason being is that the Mikuni carburetor, the float, actually quit working. So the previous weekend, I actually went on a poker run, and I had no problems out of the Heritage. I brought it home and put it in the shop, and then later on that week, I had actually went to the hardware store to get some bolts, and when I come out of the hardware store, I had a big puddle of gas underneath the bike. And I was only in there like a minute or two. The previous owner had removed the actual vacuum operated petcock, and that's a kind of a common thing with aftermarket petcocks, is that they don't have the vacuum operated, little valve in there. And the problem with that is that if the actual overflow isn't working correctly and your float quits working, you could actually fill your cylinders up with gas, and then it actually starts gaining oil. Well, as a knee-jerk reaction, because I really didn't know whether I had gained oil or not, I kind of pulled the dipstick, but I've only changed the oil on the bike once, and so I kind of really didn't have a reference on how much oil was on the dipstick previously. And so I went ahead and drained all the oil out and put some fresh oil in there. But I took the Mikuni off and kind of started looking at it, and it was pretty dirty inside. Well, I'd already previously ordered a actual S&S carburetor. I was going to wait till after TMMR to actually change it out, but I kind of went ahead and rebuilt the carburetor. I did have to order another backing plate, because when I bought the S&S off eBay, he sent this backing plate, which is for a iron head or shovel head. And the reason being I can't use that is you need these ears in order to mount it to the motor. And so I'm kind of waiting on an actual backing block that goes between the intake and the carburetor in order to mount it, and it's supposed to be here within the next couple of days, but I don't know whether I'll have it ready in time for TMMR. But the good thing about the Heritage is, as far as the speedometer is concerned, I've already done about 700 miles on this speedometer, and I haven't had any problems. So the Heritage may or may not be there. I don't really know, but let me kind of tell you about some other stuff. So as far as the Africa Twin is concerned, I actually need to change the battery out, but I also got to get on that oil leak, because in October there's a ride that I'm wanting to take it on, and we're at the beginning of May, and so I'm kind of running out of time with everything else I've got going on. So speaking of everything else going on, and with it being the beginning of May, as you well know, it's the beginning of grass cutting season. I've already cut the grass a couple of times, but I need to go in and change the oil and also the lawnmower blades, and I need to get this push mower going like I want it to, so that I can cut a hillside. And last but not least, as you well know, you always got vehicles. So on my truck, I need to change the actual brakes out on it, because they're starting to, squeal a little bit. And the Suburban, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I changed the tires, but I only changed the 2 rear tires. And with the actual cargo trailer, I went with 10-ply tires on the rear. And I happened to notice that one of the rear tires kind of was not really shaped like it was supposed to be. It was kind of rubbing on the inside. And I actually found out that my Suburban, which is coil spring, actually has a 4-link suspension, which I didn't know about. And so I've already gone in and changed the rear suspension as far as the 4-link bars, the Panhard bar, but I need to go in and change the front suspension and get 2 front tires on the Suburban. So as you can tell, I've got a lot of maintenance going on, and you're kind of getting a little tired of doing maintenance, but hey, that's part of life, you know, and I'm still riding a little bit, still also trying to film and everything. As you can see, I've got a lot of upgrades coming along, and you know, I'm going to Team MR next week, and so that's going to be kind of a good vacation, and I think it's going to be a real good time, even if it's going to rain. I get to come hang out with some friends of mine, and also hopefully meet some of y'all that may be there. But if you enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up and subscribe down below, and hopefully I'll see y'all at Team MR. Till then, see ya!